Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I want to have a chat about a possible celestial that they are hinting at in some of their posts. Now, we're in that massive wait period. We've got like 10-ish hours at the time of recording this left until we do get Freyesto in the game, and everyone's focus is on the Hypergene character at the moment. I made my video yesterday going through, the whole shiny object syndrome of wanting to get that character, then the next character, and then the next character. And I definitely think, playing it optimally and trying to avoid chasing every new character and never really being able to build anything is a play. But I wanted to go in further on that and talk about possibly the next celestial that we could be seeing in the game. Now, this isn't confirmed, and this is a very small thing, but just so you know, like, if you can't summon for this guy because you're still building Rainier, maybe you just finish Rainier and then save, because who knows what the next celestial or hypergene will be. Once again, I will be doing a bunch of testing on Freyesto, but if we jump over here, they did put this, they've been doing, some promotion tweets, and so they have this Rainier one in it. But if we go over to the actual photo and we zoom in on this bottom, just under his hand there, where there's that lock, if we zoom in on that over here, which we'll just go on the image and zoom in a bit more, and then scroll down a little bit, go across a little bit. Dude, I probably scrolled in too far. But you can see here it says formal when you can't speak, former rival Talene. So this is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if you guys have seen anything else to hint at any other celestial or hypergene. We have seen other characters from AFK Arena, like Lawson, for instance, which we'll go through in a sec, but I don't think I've seen any other reference to AFK Arena celestial or hypergenes in anything to do with the game's story. Now, I skipped a lot of the story, but I've asked people that I know who did, and I haven't found anyone that said any reference. So Talene would make a lot of sense to me, because Talene would be a fantastic introduction to the game. So if you don't know who Talene is, I'm going to introduce you guys to a little bit of AFK Arena, and this is Talene. So basically, she is a character whose whole kit revives around taking damage, and the damage she takes heals all her allies, and then if she dies, she basically revives herself. She goes into a fireball and then generates health, like a set amount of health, and then once she gets above 50% health, she springs back up, and then she can lose health to heal her allies. Then her ultimate is going to sacrifice all of her health down to 1 and then give her a massive shield to compensate for that, so that her ultimate is then healing her allies. She could actually, when she came out, do some pretty decent damage as well. But the reason this kind of gets me excited that they might be looking at building these type of characters into the game is that this is the type of character that when she came into the game, she was amazing at one copy because of the utility she brought. And that is what I'm hoping they do with Celestial and Hypergenes as we go forward. Based on the current systems, maybe they increase our income on the summons and stuff like that, and it becomes less of an issue. But I would love to see them implement characters like Talene. Now, obviously, characters in one game are going to operate a little bit different to another game. But the principle of this character and the core mechanics, once again, it will be a bit different in AFK Journey if she does come here. But the core principle behind this character meant that she could function really well at low ascension, and that is what I really want. I want characters that can function, not be completely broken, but still be placeable in people's teams at one copy, and then also be really strong once you do completely build them out. As I mentioned before, the only other characters that I think we've seen in the game so far that are from AFK Arena that like we've seen in the world, and it looks like they could be playable characters, but we don't have yet. One is Lawson. Now, Lawson is a great, he's still definitely viable. He's got an ability where he links two enemies together, and they take damage that the other one takes, so really good for nuking enemies down with cleave damage. He also has an eye that he puts on enemies, which amplifies the damage. Basically, it's a good damage amplification. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but here's one we've obviously seen through the early storyline that I know a lot of people recognize, and I think the only other AFK Arena character that we've seen but we haven't got in the game is Hogan. And I hope they make Hogan an absolute beast in AFK Journey, because in AFK Arena he's just like one of those common heroes that's a throwaway, like a fodder hero essentially. So I would love to see something like Hogan actually be good, but I think those are the only ones we've seen and seen referenced heavily. But like I said, if Talene comes to the game, I feel like she would be a fantastic placement. Not saying she is, but that is the first hint we've had. Now, we also do have an awakened version of Talene in the game. Awakened was like that next level of power creep in AFK Arena. And if you're wondering why my text is covering the heads of all my characters, it's because of the aspect ratio I widen my blue stacks to for the game. It just messes everything up. But yeah, Talene, I think it would be really good to see a character like her in the game. Once again, not confirming that she is coming, just a little hint, because I do like little hints like this, like they're kind of giving us with that one on the Rainier page, because I feel like they're not going to reference these characters in official stuff unless they have some sort of intention to actually put these characters into the game. So we'll have to wait and see. But once again, we do have old mate coming in. What's his name? Freyesto. He's coming in about 10 hours. I'm hanging out for it to test him at 1 copy. Once again, like I said, my biggest wish for these characters, especially these Celestial Hypergenes, is low copy usage, because I feel like at the moment it's very tough to get these guys maxed, and because our accounts, because this game is like, you got to think, this game made us progress our characters super fast with how much stuff they gave us at the beginning of the game. It allowed us to get like if you look at my account, free to play, I got Supreme plus Cecilia, Supreme plus Thorin, Supreme plus Smokey, Supreme Odie, Supreme plus like Marilee, like I've got Mythic pluses, like we've got ascensions through the wazoo essentially. Like it let us build characters super high. Now, if that wasn't the case and we didn't get all these ascensions into our characters in such a quick way, then having the Celestial Hypergene is hard to get. Wouldn't matter, because then if you get 1 copy and the rest of your characters aren't very high ascension, then they kind of mesh in at whatever like rarity you can get, like whatever ascension you can get them to. But because the game was so generous early on and allowed us to bring all these characters to such high levels of ascension, it means now when we get Celestial Hypergenes and we can only get 1 copy, 2 copies, unless you're getting these Celestials and Hypergenes to Mythic Plus, they're kind of not really going to, and that goes for every hero in the game, they're not going to be completely viable. Now, obviously, we do have those exceptions. Coco is an exception. Smokey's an exception. I mean, eventually you do want to get these guys more beefed up, but it's more the support heroes that can sit in the back and then still have functionality. We have Rowan as well. However, we do have the situation in which some tanks are actually crazy at low copies as well, which is like Brutus. Antandra is another one, which Antandra is the strangest one to me, because she actually is there to take damage. Like Brutus has the invincibility, but she has just so much mitigation in her kit. So I'm hoping that we do get some of those viabilities out of some of these new heroes as they come out, especially those Celestial and Hypergenes, because once again, it is really it is a ton of saving that you've got to do to even try and get close to these guys. Like I mentioned, I can maybe get 5 copies of the new guy when he comes out, but I'm just gonna stick to 1. We'll do some testing, then we'll see if we want to go deeper. But I honestly think what I will end up doing with Freyesto is going ahead and picking up 1 copy of him, picking up that 1 copy, testing him, using him, leaving it there. Then I will probably switch over and go into my Rainier to finish him off, because Rainier I've already got 2 copies of. If I wasn't making content and wanting to test stuff for content, I'd probably skip him altogether and just go dump everything into Rainier, get my Rainier to Mythic Plus, and then save for the next Celestial Hypergene, which hopefully is going to be something like a Talene, because from the characters that we've had on banners so far, none of them have been a character carried over from AFK Arena, and I feel like they do have a massive roster of cool characters that they can bring across, and I feel like Talene would be a fantastic introduction into that roster. But anyway, guys, that is my little ramble discussion video for the day. I'm hoping for it. Once again, it's only a small hint, but it could be a thing, and if it is, I will be very excited, because Talene was such an amazing character for the state of AFK Arena when she came into it. She was just fantastic at low copies. She was like a giga support healing unit at low copies, and then when she got it maxed out, she could actually just solo carry teams as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We'll have to wait and see. But once again, don't fall for that shiny object syndrome. We've got about 8 to 10 hours before he drops, and I'll be doing some testing. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.